this video is going to be about how to do bulk grocery shopping / what's in our fridge.
So I'm just going to take you through the fresh goodness that we like to have on hand at all times.
Series called Nourishing Know How. So last video we talked about how to stock a whole food pantry. We went into exactly what we keep in the pantry. Everything from fats and sweeteners to dried nuts, seeds, whole grains, legumes, all of that goodness. And today's video I'm going to be taking a look in the fridge, what I normally have, and also just a bit more than normal because we're doing a bit of an extra shop because we're going to try to stay home for the next month or so. I'm just going to jump straight into it. First of all, we got to have butter. We love butter. We get Tasmanian one that's grass-fed. So we've got to have at least a kilo of that. And then we've got a couple of different cheeses, like Parmesan and hard cheeses that are going to last a little bit longer. So next on the list would definitely have to be ferments. So we like to do sauerkraut, just like in a really big jar like this. We also make kimchi as well. That's a really great way of preserving cabbage, obviously the most traditional way of preserving cabbage. So there's 10 times more vitamin C in sauerkraut than an orange. We bought 2 bags of green beans, like this size. We just use like the mushroom bags to avoid plastic. I'm just gonna pop those into Ziploc bags like this. Oh my God, it smells so good. Okay, so herbs and spices are actually the second most nutrient dense thing, so it's so good to have fresh herbs. We try to have them in the garden where possible, but at the moment coriander and basil aren't in season in Tassie. So I'm going to show you a really cool trick to keep your herbs fresh. Basically just grab any jar and you can just sort of stuff them in like that. I reckon this would last for about at least a week, if not longer, but definitely longer than the slimy black sludge at the bottom of your fridge. So kale lasts really long, so that's a good green to get, as well as silver beet. We've got plenty of broccoli because broccoli freezes quite well, so you would think freezing would actually be bad because it's not like fresh, but it actually preserves the nutrients really well, especially in the case of things like broccoli. I'm just going to chop it up into little florets. Okay, so I've chopped up all of that broccoli and I'm just popping it into some recycled Ziploc bags. If you're trying to avoid plastic, these silicone bags you can get off eBay are really good. I think this was a 1 litre one or a 1.5 litre one. One thing when I'm putting these veggies into the freezer or anything, always remember to label them. So we just use like masking tape and a Sharpie. I'll put some label inspiration on screen. I saw these guys making really funny labels. So remember that having fun is the antidote for stress. So I recommend if you're doing meal prep or anything like this, cooking, just see what ways you can make it fun, like put music on or just get silly or do it with your partner or a friend. Next basically was just heaps of fresh veggies. So things like leek, which we'll use in soup, and cauliflower, 4 cauliflower for a family of 4. And we're just gonna roast those and also make cauliflower rice. So just blending them up and then freezing them. We've got some cabbages. We got 4 cabbages, 2 white, 2 red for making sauerkraut and also just for frying up in stir fries or making cabbage dumplings and things like that. 2 giant wombok cabbages for making kimchi. Then we've got some fennel as well. And we've got heaps of eggplants. Do you think we have enough eggplant? Do we even like baba ganoush? Oh, we're gonna make a ratatouille with these and also some zucchini. So other things we like to keep in our fridge is some nice fresh meat. So this one is like an oxtail, so we'll probably do like an oxtail stew. The way that I like to think about it is basically having some that cook faster than others. So those would be things like burger mince, and we mix that with liver at a ratio of about 20% liver to 80% mincemeat. We like to just blend up the liver and mix it through the mincemeat and then freeze it into different portions. That way you can't really taste the liver, but you're getting all of those nutrients. So that's particularly important at the moment because it's really high in like A, D, and K, and it's really nutrient dense. Okay, so sausage and bacon are other good quick meats to have on hand, and kids love them. Preservative free and organic where possible. More slow cooker cuts would be things like osso bucco and oxtail, or lamb or pork shoulder. So if you're wanting to make some broths, things like thigh bones, we've got some trotters here. Just making sure that you get ones with like the bones and cartilage in there for all of that glycine and that gelatin and collagen. We also love to have whole chickens. So what you can do is just literally chuck the whole thing in a pot and make like a soup and take it out after a couple of hours. Pull off the flesh, put the carcass back in there and cook it for another couple of hours. An age-old folk remedy, and it's been used forever, basically to boost the immune system. If you're vegetarian, it's good to get legumes in bulk. Things like chickpeas and lentils are really good. Just keep in mind whether you digest them well. It's kind of a personal thing. It's so great when you're making it yourself rather than the ones in the cans, because you can actually soak it overnight. So the combination of soaking it and then cooking it removes most of the phytic acid, ensure that you can really digest that and get all of the nutrients out there. It's also a fantastic form of fiber, so feeding your gut bugs is essential for optimal health. You want to do a big batch of lentils or chickpeas, you can do it in the pressure cooker to save time, and then even just put that in little bags and freeze. Good to remember that dairy is actually a complete protein, so if you are vegetarian, thinking about things like eggs and dairy, eggs actually last for 6 months in the fridge, are a fantastic source of bioavailable protein, as well as a myriad of other nutrients. We generally like to have a variety of different animal proteins and plant proteins as well, basically making sure that you're balancing things like seafood and shellfish, beans and legumes, and dairy if you're not dairy intolerant. Speaking of dairy, we always have a big tub of homemade yogurt. I'll definitely show you how to make that in a future video. Often use this to make salad dressings or tzatziki, as well as having the desserts and making lemonade. Another really good one is having some kind of flavor paste. It's just like ginger, garlic, fish sauce, gluten-free soya sauce, and red onion, just all blended up with some gochugaru, Korean chili flakes. This could be just like a jar of curry paste. You can even just purchase from the shop if you don't want to make it yourself, or you can literally just make anything up with onion and garlic and ginger as the base and add some herbs and spices. Of course, we have olives. So we've got some lentils here that have been soaked and cooked. So we pretty much always have some meal prepped things in the fridge. And I like to use these containers, which are just glass containers. You can get them from eBay or like Kmart or something like that. In here we've got some slow cooked lamb curry, we've got some veggie soup with pork broth, and some whole cooked sweet potatoes. So it's just nice to just know that you've got something to grab. You're just coming home from work and you want to have a quick, easy meal.
Covered a lot in this video, so I will just put a list of the fresh fridge essentials on screen at the moment. So if you want to screenshot and take it to the shops, you can easily do that. We covered things like dark leafy green veggies, as well as plenty of herbs and brassicas like collie, broccoli and cabbage, as well as ferments and different cuts of meat for fast and slow cooking. Things to add flavour like curry paste, pesto, things like that. And I also forgot to mention chocolate because we make it at home. But if you can't do that, then definitely don't forget to buy some while you're at the shops.
Okay, I think that's the end. Thanks for making it to the end of another video. If you liked this video and you got some value out of it, then please hit the like button and also hit the bell and subscribe if you want to see the next video, which is actually going to be the freezer. So obviously really essential in this horrible coronavirus epidemic, but just in general life as well, it can help you to save lots of time. It can also help you to make the most of the seasons. I'm really excited to make that video for you, so hopefully I'll see you there. Thanks for watching, babes. See you in the next one. Okay, so, oh my god.
Okay, so
now you know what
God.
I live with. I live with a fart in the form of a person. Who doesn't love sausages? And don't look at me like that. Sausage.